Welcome to Wrestling Over Everything, everybody. We're a very funny wrestling podcast out of Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like the video, hit the bell, all that stuff. Follow us on TikTok, Blue Sky, Instagram. I don't use Instagram that much for us. I'm finding TikTok's my spot. So if you want one of those, go to TikTok or Blue Sky. And the main place is to watch our long form stuff is YouTube and your favorite podcast app. Dusty, what's your favorite podcast app? What do you use?
I use Spotify.
Do you? I usually use the Apple podcast app, I think.
Oh yeah, I don't have Apple Music. I got Spotify.
Oh, me neither. You don't have to pay for Apple Music to get the podcast app. But
let me ask you this, real quick: are you at all interested in the Netflix podcast shows? So I do not find myself that interested.
Well, I'm not. I never watch podcasts on the couch. So like, I don't want to have the Netflix app open on my phone while I'm going around town and stuff like that. Because I do the video on podcasts, but mobily. It's like I look every once in a while.
Yeah,
I have it on my counter while I'm cooking or something, you know. But I mean, I really like Pardon My Take. I think that's a great podcast. Those guys are really funny. And I'm kind of bummed that because I don't even subscribe to Netflix anymore. I'm kind of bummed that I can't watch them. I know Last Podcast on the Left is on there now. I never watched that. I don't know if there's ever a video available on other platforms. I'm not sure, but so no. Long way to say no, I guess.
Yeah. It's nice to have on in the background occasionally, you know, but I always want to watch a show, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm an old man, so you know, for the younger people that might be like you, much younger.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Podcast in the background.
Thank you for reminding everybody. Yeah, I'm very much a YouTubesman, so I watch a lot of YouTube because I'm a young guy. But well, another reminder. But yeah, it's cool. So today we are starting kind of our lead up to WrestleMania, aren't we, Dusty?
We are. I don't know if you've heard. If only I had a sign that I could point to let me know and let the listeners and viewers know that we're on the road to WrestleMania. There's no way to know otherwise. If there's not a sign to point at, then how would we know?
I truly am like fully sick of the sign pointing. I think it's corny. I think it's like, why would this like killer? Why would Brock Lesnar give a fuck about pointing at the sign?
Right. Where? Why would he care where he's getting to kill somebody at? Like, it doesn't matter to him. He'd do it in a parking lot in Omaha. You know.
Well, he could even if he's happy to be at WrestleMania, you know what I mean? It's like, because he's gonna make a bunch of money or something, or it's gonna be a lot of people watch him kill somebody. Like, why would he be like, oh yeah, they always do this sign pointing thing. I got to make sure that I do the sign pointing thing that everybody else does. That's just not in his. That's not his style. You know, I'm not saying I don't even know. I'm sure he's done it before. I don't know that I've seen him do it before, but I'm sure he's done it before. I'm just using him as an example. But yeah, we don't need to point at the sign as often as people are now pointing at the sign.
Yeah, I got it. It's I know that if you win the Royal Rumble, you get to wrestle at WrestleMania. I don't need sign point the first time, maybe cool, but they've exhausted the sign point. You got to come up with a new thing. So
yeah, I mean, whatever.
We're on the road to WrestleMania though. No sign pointing, just you and I in a 4-door sedan heading that way like it's a classic 80s buddy comedy.
God damn it. I wish we could go to WrestleMania again. Dusty and I just absolutely, we ran WrestleMania. What was it, 38? 39? Which one?
No, we went to WrestleMania. Yeah, we went to 39. But quite 39. A time to be had in LA. We went to the Giant Store, got to see the Eddie Guerrero Lowrider, which was dope. Got to pay a lot for a shirt that I can't find anymore.
Got to see Ray's question mark suit from Halloween Havoc. See Andy Kaufman's shirt. We got to
I
see
got to see
that.
the Andy Kaufman shirt. Got to buy a Great Muta shirt that I can't find. That's very upsetting. So, there's a lot of memories. Got to pay a lot of money to park in a parking lot in a convenience store near SoFi Stadium.
It was like it was like an oil change place, and we spent like like $80 or $90 to park there, and it was like a half mile from SoFi Center.
Yeah. That was a tough day. That was a tough one for Dusty to take in. That almost beats Cody Rhodes getting beat by Roman Reigns in the main event on terms of bummers that I experienced that weekend.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
But yeah, so we've got some different WrestleMania stuff planned, some event specific things, and then just kind of a general idea. We'll do a preview episode before WrestleMania. But I thought this week it'd be fun, hopefully, and funny to talk about Triple H specifically at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Triple H has been. I mean, you got to put him. You got to put Triple H kind of on a sort of WrestleMania Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah, I believe he has wrestled at the most WrestleManias. No, Undertaker's done more, but he's definitely one of the top guys. He has the most in-ring time for a competitor at WrestleMania. 7 hours, 57 minutes, 25 seconds. Every minute of those good? Probably not. We'll talk about it.
I wonder if that counts. That probably doesn't count entrances, because if it doesn't count entrances, that's like 9 hours.
Yeah, it's there's an entire YouTube video dedicated to just the Triple H entrances, and it's almost an hour long. Just the entrances, and they cut some of it, even still. So but
they usually get to the water spit, and then they can't. They go to the next one.
He's like a very prominent feature of WrestleMania through a bunch of different WrestleMania eras, and so he's an interesting guy to talk about in a general sense in his career. We've done the Mick Foley versus Triple H deep dive, but at WrestleMania in specific, there's some things that don't really match up as logically for me. So I figured he'd be a good guy to talk about.
Yeah, he's the barrier. He's the nobody's buried more people than Triple H at WrestleMania. They just bring him in to bury dudes.
It's it's an interesting thing. So I want to go through his career.
Oops, all berries. That's what I'd call it. That's what I should call this episode.
Yeah.
I always find it, Dusty. I always find it.
That's right in the moment too. There's no pre-plan on that one.
It's like Novocaine. Just give it time. Always works.
So we're gonna look at specifically 3 Triple H matches through kind of 3 different eras of his career and kind of analyze those. But I want to give what's that, Andrew? Is that me in the distance building a runway for us to take off from? It is.
Oh wow. Because I love it when you build runways, Dusty.
Gotta build the runway, because otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah.
If so Triple H comes into the WWF in the summer of 1995. So after WrestleMania 11. So his first WrestleMania, he gets beat by the Ultimate Warrior in 1 minute and 39 seconds in the Ultimate Warrior's return to the WWF.
Was he Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
He was Greenwich snob Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
By the way, it's so funny though, and we're gonna get to the later on entrances, but it's so funny having him dressed as like a medieval guy with like a phalanx of guys around him and stuff, and he pops up and it says from Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah, it's he basically gets buried here. He's the sacrificial lamb for the return of the Ultimate Warrior. No problem there. Some heel has to do it. He's low on the totem pole at this point, so Triple H draws the short straw. WrestleMania 13, he is now with China, and he defeats Goldust in a singles match at 14 minutes, 29 seconds. No real problem there. It's a mid-card feud. I believe Triple H goes over, whatever. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 14, Triple H beats Owen Hart for the European Championship while China is handcuffed to Sergeant Slaughter. Now here,
hell yeah, dude.
there's a smidge of an issue.
Okay.
If only because this is right after the Montreal Screwjob, and Owen Hart was promised a main event run with Shawn Michaels, who was like, well, I'm not doing it. So they give him Shawn Michaels' lackey, Triple H, and then Triple H beats him in the stipulation match at WrestleMania for the title.
What was the stipulation?
That China couldn't interfere because she was handcuffed to start the slaughter.
I thought you were saying stipulation as if, like, if he loses, there's, like, something like that.
Oh, yeah. No. Triple H is the champ going in, by the way. And he beats Owen Hart. So,
Did China try to beat up Sergeant Slaughter at all?
She throws powder in his eyes, if I recall.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then low blows Owen Hart so he can get pedigreed. But on balance, this is only a small problem, You split your hairs there. Maybe Owen Hart should have gone over. WrestleMania 15, yeah. Kane defeats Triple H by DQ. That is a stinker. We watched that one the other day. Nothing to say there. Now, that's early Triple H. This is just regular lower to mid card Triple H. We move into the year 2000. Now we're starting to get a couple Triple H issues. So, WrestleMania 2000, he wins a 4 corners match where he beats Mick Foley, The Big Show, and The Rock, who all have members of the McMahon family around them. So, Triple H has got Stephanie, Vince is with The Rock, Shane is with The Big Show, and Linda, of course, is with Mick Foley, the recently retired and returning Mick Foley. Triple H goes over, the first heel in WrestleMania history to retain the WWF title at WrestleMania.
That's not surprising. It is a foreshadowing for the remainder of. I'm the guy who wins when nobody wants me or expects me to win.
Yeah. Should they have had The Rock win this title at WrestleMania? Maybe, because he wins it the very next month at the April pay-per-view. So who am I to say what should have happened at WrestleMania 2000? WrestleMania 17, he gets beat by The Undertaker. No real problems there. It's a pretty decent match. That's the one where Triple H gets choke slammed off the side, but he lands on the very apparent crash pad that's by the camera. WrestleMania 18, this is babyface Triple H, who has returned from injury. He tore his quad. He's coming back. He won the Royal Rumble, gets a huge pop when he returns. This is Beautiful Day while Triple H is working out. Playing in the background.
Man, Beautiful Day took over the world for a little bit, didn't it?
It was huge, and it was just like he's doing leg presses. Beautiful Day, like hell yeah, dude.
How do you feel about Beautiful Day?
Beautiful Day is one of the, I believe, 3 U2 songs that I like. And U2 was never a band that I really enjoyed. Okay. Sunday Bloody Sunday, With or Without You, Beautiful Day. That's probably it for U2 for me, unless there's one I'm forgetting. But not a huge U2 guy.
I was gonna say, how about I Can't Live, but that's fucking With or Without You.
Without You.
Yeah, I'm for it. I'm for Beautiful Day. I think people started getting mad at Beautiful Day for a while, which I understand. But I'm for it.
Well, big post 9/11 song too, The Beautiful Day.
And it's also I always associate it for some reason. I don't know if they were big at the same time or something, but I always associate it with "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not the same song, but it's definitely a similar vibe.
It's a good day song. And listen, I like "It's My Life" as well. Frankie said I did it my way. Kind of a shitty line, kind of an amateurish line. But other than that, I'm for that song too.
Yeah, so Triple H goes over Chris Jericho in the main event when they should have gone on second to last because this is The Rock versus Hogan WrestleMania.
Shit.
This is,
they had to go after that.
Yeah, the air is out of the balloon at this particular point.
Everybody in the crowd smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, and this is also where Triple H won't really let Chris Jericho get heat on him because in the lead up to this, because Triple H apparently told Chris Jericho, my character would be too smart to be outsmarted by you, and also my wife would never leave me to be with you. And so Chris Jericho's like, well, what am I building heat with here if not if Stephanie's going to be with me?
Man, I'm
Yeah.
I'm the cerebral assassin. Okay, you
Yeah.
don't out cerebral the cerebral assassin.
I might have torn my quad. That's not cerebral, bro. That's part of the
No.
lower extremities. This is the mental game was tops the whole time. So
nowhere have I ever seen me called the quadriceps assassin.
except whenever I went to Dr. James Andrews and he said, "Man, that spine buster assassinated your quadriceps."
Yeah, your quadriceps has been assassinated. What is it? Compromised to a permanent end.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Cena.
Yeah, shout out to John Cena. So this is where we get to the first of our deep evaluation of what Triple H and WrestleMania mean to each other. So WrestleMania 19 comes around. We are in the midst of what a lot of people commonly refer to, Andrew, as the Triple H Reign of Terror.
Is it because everybody hated it?
Everybody
or is it just
hated
because
it,
he was
and
okay.
he's the top guy on Monday Night Raw. I know you were a SmackDown kid because you were watching. I think you were probably watching around this time. This is 2003. This might be peak young Andrew.
This is like probably like either tail end or right after, because I remember like I was watching Y2J. I was watching Mysterio come over. And then after that, if we're at 03, this is either right after or tail end.
Okay.
But I was a SmackDown guy. I didn't have cable.
Yeah. This I told told my wife the story the other day of you trying to get your mom to buy you a Winem Dinem 619 hat.
Yeah.
Because that
there's a shirt.
Oh, a shirt. Yeah. Never not funny.
I had no idea that it was dirty. I was like, finally a wrestling shirt I can own. And it just talks about a wrestling maneuver.
Yeah.
But no, it's a sex maneuver. My mom never told me. She's like, I'm not going to tell you why I can't get you that shirt, but I know I can't get you that shirt. They never bought me jack, son.
Yeah.
Like she would have, even if it just had Ray's face on it, she wouldn't have bought me that shit. And I was better for it, you know. I got I got a really expensive baseball glove one time, and that's about all the like extracurricular shit that I got. One nice shirt a year at the local skate shop.
That's you were spared, even though you didn't know at the time the Rey Mysterio shirt. But that always makes me laugh. But so the Triple H.
I also wanted. Sorry, they used to sell The Rock's sunglasses that had the Brahma Bull on the lens.
Ooh. Cool,
dude! I wanted
I
wanted a pair of those so bad. I would have done anything for a pair of those glasses, and I would have looked so stupid in those glasses.
You really just poor fashion choices were avoided because your parents refused to buy you the things that you wanted. Maybe that was
the one time they actually screwed me on that stuff was I wanted to bleach my hair in 2001, and because of Eminem.
Sure, you're an original prankster at that point.
Yeah, I was definitely an original prankster. And my mom said no, and then one day we were at the hair salon. My mom was getting her hair cut, and I was just sitting there, and she was like, she got a wild hair, and she like looks at the hairdresser, and she's like, can we put some like bleach streaks in his hair? She wouldn't let me go full bleach. She let me streak it. And the streaks looked way worse than the. I looked like an idiot, bro. But I thought I looked cool, but I looked like a freaking moron.
There's no such thing as halfway crooks, you know. You got to either do it or don't do it.
I was an original stankster. I looked like a moron.
Have you ever been hated or or discriminated
against? I haven't, but I like to pretend that I have.
Yeah. So the Triple H Reign of Terror, basically, they split Raw and SmackDown into two separate shows, and there was supposed to be one champion that traveled between both shows. The way that I prefer you to have your champion, if you're going to have two brands, right? You have one guy who's the champion, because then you can be the undisputed champion.
Yeah, man, I hate the multiple champions garbage. I hate it. If you have, we've said this before a million times on the show. If you have two champions, you don't have a champion.
You got no champions. That's there again, no such thing as halfway crooks. You're either the 100%. Champ or you're not the champ. But SmackDown signs Brock Lesnar, who's the WWF champion, to an exclusive deal for SmackDown, in kayfabe. So now Raw doesn't have a championship. Triple H at the time was the number one contender. So, like you do in all sports, they just gave Triple H the Raw version of the World Championship. No match, no tournament, nothing. Eric Bischoff walked out, handed the big gold belt to Triple H, and was like, "You're the champion now."
See, that's a good way to make a heel.
Yeah,
I think like they did that to Rousey in UFC. They just declared her the women's champion, and then Liz Carmouche almost choked her to death. And then thank God Ronda ended up winning that one. But yeah, that's a good way to you give the guy the title and he walks around strutting his stuff as well as if he won it. It's a good way to build some heat, I would say.
Yeah. But then he proceeds to beat all the baby faces.
Yeah.
So he beats Rob Van Dam. He beats Kane. Then they sign Scott Steiner. His next big feud's supposed to be against Scott Steiner, right? Who just came over from WCW after, well, not just, but he's moved on from when WCW closed. Now he's joining WWF. He's supposed to be the big foil for Triple H at this point in January of 2003.
Is he Big Papa Pump by now?
He is Big Papa Pump.
With the Pharaoh fucking chainmail shit and all that?
He's got the chainmail. He's full Big Papa Pump. But he is also, unfortunately, washed. Hella washed. Yeah, he's got drop foot syndrome, where I believe it's something like
your foot just dies.
Yeah, he can't feel his foot.
Yeah.
It'll just, so they do this whole build up to the Royal Rumble. They have one of the stinkiest matches in the history of the Royal Rumble, where Triple H gets disqualified for cheating after him and Steiner stink the joint out for about 20 minutes. And then they rematch at the next month's pay-per-view in February, because they'd already planned it. They have an even stinkier match where the fans actually cheer Triple H out of protest for stinkitude. And of course, in the end, Triple H goes over. So apparently the original plan, I guess, would be for Triple H to have defeated Scott Steiner just a real permanent third time in a row at WrestleMania 19. Really make that defeat stick, But they were like, we can't have this be the WrestleMania match. These guys,
because the first two suck so bad.
Yeah, they just cannot work together. They suck.
Is it bad chemistry, or is it to drop foot, or is it?
I think it's a little
call man, call him B.
I think it's a little bit of both. They're both the guy that's supposed to be the strongest guy. So then who sells? Scott Steiner as a babyface is not at that point great at selling. He's and he's also washed, unfortunately. I love Scott Steiner, but at this point, it's just not in a place where he can put those kind of matches on. And the work rate at WWE is significantly higher, than it was for a lot of the WCW guys.
I love Scott Steiner of the Steiner brothers.
Yes,
I love Scott with Rick.
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to find a really good Big Papa Pump match. There are a couple that exist, but his work rate, because of injuries and various things, went down significantly by the time he was Big Papa Pump.
Write it down. We got to do some sort of Scott Steiner thing at some point.
Yeah,
we got to find a good Big Papa Pump match. We got to. We did the Steiner Bros on our previous podcast, but I'd like to revisit probably, because I love the Steiner brothers, and I still can't believe what they did to Rick.
Yeah,
my boy.
Look what they massacred your boy.
They massacred my dog-faced gremlin, bro.
Yeah, the only wrestling shirt you own, right? Rick Steiner.
Yeah, and it's way too small for me. It looks so stupid, and the graphic, because I bought it so cheap.
Yeah.
The graphic is it doesn't fill out the whole shirt. It's just it's the worst shirt of all time, but it's got a really boss ass picture of Rick Steiner on it. So
yeah. So they're like, okay,
and I think it says something like, "You want some, come get some," or something like that. Well, I can't remember exactly what it says.
If you don't like them, you know what you got to do. You can bite.
You can bite.
That's his catchphrase. If you don't like me, bite me. Okay, so they're like, we got to pivot. We need another baby face. Turns out they had defeated the previous top baby faces
Yeah.
Pretty so spectacularly that they could not really recover. So they're like, we're going to do a battle royal. The Rock is in this battle royal. We'll have some other guys, and the winner of this battle royal gets the WrestleMania 19 title shot. And then, like, kind of out of nowhere, Booker T eliminates The Rock in this battle royal because Booker T, after he came over from WCW, he did main event SummerSlam 2001 with The Rock, and he was in the big main event kind of picture during that time. But after that, he had moved into a tag team with Goldust. And the tag team with Goldust is very entertaining. Goldust does his shenanigans, and Booker T reacts, as the straight man. Like, they were a good team,
Booker T does really good eye work.
Yeah, and they were a good team in terms of work rate. Like, they're a good tag team. But he had been, like, decidedly in the mid card before this, and he throws The Rock out, which is a great jumping off point to make him a serious contender for WrestleMania 19. The problem becomes, and I want to be respectful and hopefully clear when we talk about it. They go a pathway that I don't understand in terms of the storyline, because it's kind of the easy way to me that's right there is, hey, you were the WCW champion. Even Triple H says in the first promo, you're the WCW champion, but you were the WCW champion like whenever Vince Russo and David Arquette were also WCW champion when it was a nightmare to work there. You're not a competitor, like, you're not a champion in the way that I was the champion. You won the belt 4 times, but you won it when this company was like on its way out, was on fire, basically.
Yeah.
Right. That's okay. That's a shitty heel thing to say and to make yourself better than your opponent, right? But Triple H cuts this promo where he's also saying a lot of stuff that I don't think is like, that he later says it wasn't the direction that he was going in. But it's hard for me to see it the other way.
They were being racist. We don't have to beat bushes here, Dusty. We didn't write this.
I know.
So they were calling him a thug. They told Triple H told him to dance for him. Triple H said somebody like you doesn't get to be the world champion. Ric Flair calls him a chauffeur.
Yeah, that Flair in a different promo basically tells him, like, you could either get beaten up by Triple H or you can be our chauffeur, and that's like a good spot for you.
Yeah.
And and they're like, they do pivot to and Booker T cuts a promo where he's like, hey, early in my life I made a mistake. I went to prison. I've overcome that. Now I want to be the world champion. And Triple H always says that he was using the people like you don't get to be champion in reference to Booker T being in prison. Although with all the other stuff, I think it's fair to call that a stretch at best.
He told him he has nappy hair.
Right, but I'm just saying, I agree with you. I'm just saying this is what the storyline that they're saying that they're doing. And
go ahead.
I think all of it's bad. It's like it's a bad way to build this feud up, but it is even more baffling because even if it were just you were in prison, you don't deserve to be champion, that's bad. But then you add all the other stuff, that makes it so much worse. And then we get to the match. So
so what year was this?
2003.
So in 2003, this can pass as a wrestling storyline. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, the world hadn't like stopped doing that yet, so I could see why they didn't look at each other and go, hey, this is crazy, we shouldn't be doing this, but Booker T has to win.
Right. So let's talk about, so that's the whole buildup. Essentially, Booker T wins this battle royal. Triple H cuts him down in a way that Booker T can't really like defend against, other than to say, hey, I had this thing happen in my past, and now I'm going to overcome it, and I can show that I can that I'll like prevail. And then he beats Triple H on the go home show to WrestleMania 19 in a tag team match, which at this point in Triple H career guarantees that Triple H is not going to lose this match on the pay-per-view. That used to be the joke, is like, Triple H will do the job to you on Raw when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In a tag match where he's not getting beat straight up. It's, there's other stuff going on. But we get to WrestleMania 19, which is from Seattle, Washington, March the 30th, 2003 at Safeco Field.
Safeco Field, yeah.
And it looks sick. The baseball stadium for WrestleMania, like as a WrestleMania, like a venue, always looks awesome. Like the rings in the middle
cool.
of center field, like it looks really cool.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about outdoor wrestling, because Safeco has a dome, I think. Yeah. Safeco has a roof. I don't like outdoor WrestleManias when like there's a big match happening and it's daytime and they're walking out, like in the Sting match we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But Safeco did look really cool. Safeco's a really pretty stadium.
Yeah, and it's like this 54,097 people were in attendance. This WrestleMania is actually, it's kind of being reclaimed now, but there's a bunch of really good matches on this show. Unfortunately, this Booker T Triple H match, not one of them, in my opinion. I think Booker T's song still rules. It's awesome.
Dude, that song is burned into I guess I wrestled against Booker T a lot in the video game.
Yeah.
Because that's all I hear is the video game. I might have wrestled as I think I wrestled as Booker T a lot because you could do the spin-a-rooney.
Yeah. And like that song rules. The funny thing, this is maybe one of our first instances of long ass ramp to the ramp. If your ramp has a turn in it, that's too long of a ramp.
Probably too long of a ramp.
You got to shorten that ramp up.
You don't have a dog leg.
Yeah,
in your ramp.
This match confuses me for a myriad of reasons. Part of it is the stadium. I've always heard in an outdoor stadium, the crowd reaction is really hard to gauge because all the sound goes up out of the dome. But the crowd doesn't seem super into this. They don't really ever give Booker T like the early portion of the match where he's in control as the babyface. It's a lot of Triple H control in this match, which is baffling to me.
By the way, at one point, Jerry the King Lawler says, "We want a world champion. We don't want a world champion who has Johnny Cochran on speed dial."
Yeah, and he makes a few of these references to the point that Jim Ross at one point is like, "You got to stop, man."
Yeah, because JR's been playing it right the whole time. Like when they were doing the promos back and forth and they were being racist, JR was like, "I don't see the humor in this at all, King." I mean, he just kept getting like more and more mad. And
he's like, "What I see is a phenomenal athlete who deserves to be champion, who we can be proud of, and who's overcoming an obstacle." And Jerry Lawler is like the whole time being like, "But what about Triple H? He's great." And so, and he keeps saying, "We're at WrestleMania." And finally, Jim Ross is like, "That's like the 8th time you've told me we're at WrestleMania, King." There's a point in this match where Booker T gets put in the Indian Deathlock by Triple H, and I know that it is futile, and we've had it pointed out on one of our TikToks when I point out inconsistencies in wrestling. Apparently, not supposed to do that. But I'm looking at the Indian Deathlock, and I cannot figure out how this hurts the other guy, like at all.
I don't know either. Yeah, a guy got really mad at us the other day for asking why there were cameras at Big Show's mom's funeral, dad's funeral.
Yeah, and it was like, what about, you think you're wondering where the cameras are on Walking Dead? Well, first of all, those are two different things. We can agree. We're watching different things.
The Walking Dead thing is a completely apt thing to explain why people should enjoy wrestling while it being fake. but it's still being presented as a real thing. Anyway, that guy's not
Right.
listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
But I was so I'm watching the Indian Deathlock, and I'm really like, okay, so he's pushing his leg with his other leg, but I'm not really sure why this is supposed to hurt Booker T. And then Jim Ross is completely galled by the use of this Indian Deathlock. He's like, I haven't seen this in 30 years. Nobody uses this move anymore. What's going on? It was just very strange. Like, this is also a point where Triple H is really trying to be Harley Race. He's doing a lot of Harley Race work in this match. Like,
he's trying to start a Harley Race war.
I was, you know what? The second I said, I was like, oh man, that's didn't even.
He
think
likes
about
motorcycles. He's trying to start a Harley Race war.
He's got a place out in the desert. So, Booker T hits an awesome looking scissors kick, which he's using as his finish, because his finish in WCW was the bookend, which is essentially the rock bottom. So they're not letting him transfer that over. Not two guys don't get to do the rock bottom.
Yeah, and we know who's going to win that argument. So
yeah, so scissors kick from Booker T, and to his credit, Triple H takes a hell of a bump off of this scissors kick, and there's a long time before Booker T can get over to pin Triple H, and Triple H kicks out. Then Booker T does the Harlem Hangover, which is the front flip leg drop off the top rope, straight up lands on Triple H's head. Like, and there's not a lot of empathy from me for Triple H at this moment, but couldn't have felt good to get that leg dropped on you.
that could have been worse, man. Like, that was so close to being really bad. He just completely missed where I don't know if Triple H moved or if Booker T missed, but like, he could have butt stomped his head. Like,
Yeah.
he could have squashed his head like a freaking Gallagher watermelon right in the middle of the ring right there.
That's a move in the best of times that looks relatively stiff, like, because it's hard to control your body on a front flip and like make sure that you land not hurting the other guy. But whatever happened, he smashed Triple H with this thing. And that gets a near fall, but Ric Flair puts Triple H's foot on the rope, and then
Once again, by the way, blind ass Nick Patrick, bro, the most blind referee in the history of wrestling. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh god damn it. But everybody listening, I have a long-standing feud with Nick Patrick. He and I are not friends.
He hates Nick Patrick.
They did tease a ref bump, and thankfully it was a thing that Nick Patrick would have laid down for 20 minutes for in the WCW, or at least the exact amount of time it took for the heels to do exactly what they needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, he stayed on his feet this time.
He shrugged it off. The stoutest referee in all the land, Nick Patrick, not taking the bump. And then literally out of nowhere, like, Booker T hits the Harlem Hangover, foot on the rope. Triple H hits the pedigree. No real buildup, no real tension, no real anything. And then it's 25 seconds before Triple H crawls over, straight up pins Booker T.
Yeah.
One pedigree, 30 seconds of waiting, one hand on Booker T's chest.
White's win.
Gets the win. And it's like, first of all, the match, I never felt like it was decently worked, but it never hit another gear because there were never any real false finishes. Like, when Triple H pedigreed Mick Foley in the tax at Royal Rumble 2000, it took 2 pedigrees to beat him.
Yeah.
And there are no tacks here. Just straight up one pedigree. Triple H wins. And in the moment, I'm like, well, wrestling wise, that doesn't make any sense. The heel said the babyface couldn't win, and the babyface said he could win, and then the heel, without cheating or any recourse, just straight up beats the babyface.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense just in a regular wrestling context. And they're like, well, maybe now we got to get to that rematch. Booker T's got to get that win back, and now hell's come for Triple H. No, no rematch. Never a rematch between Booker T and Triple H. Booker T gets no recourse.
People like him don't get rematches, Dusty.
Apparently, that there was a Triple H promo the week after. That's the same thing. It's insane.
And that's what I'm saying. I am not by any stretch saying that this could have been like the racism thing could have been good. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying in 2003, it for better or worse was an acceptable way to do this. But you have to have Booker T win, man. You can't have the oppressed lose to the oppressor at WrestleMania,
especially when the oppressor actively points it out.
Yeah,
in the lead up,
he literally handed him a $1 bill and told him to go get him a towel.
Yeah, and you're like, that shitty behavior. I don't love it. I don't think that that's acceptable. Like you said,
it's bad.
There's no excuse.
It's unacceptable for sure.
But in wrestling, you're like, okay, but this guy's acted so shitty. The good guy has to win.
We get to see that guy get his butt kicked for doing all this awful stuff. You know what I mean? Because there's TV shows with racists now, but guess what? The racists always lose.
Yeah, that's like if at the end of Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio didn't die, didn't get killed.
Django just goes right back into slavery.
Yeah, it's madness
and apologizes for running away.
Yeah, and like it's maddening, and then it's like it's not worse necessarily, but like the next year in a different context they kind of nail it because Brock Lesnar is telling Eddie Guerrero, you're a former drug addict, you don't deserve to be the champion. Yeah. People like you don't get to be champion. And then what happens? Eddie Guerrero beats Brock Lesnar.
And it's like one of the most memorable moments in the past 30 years.
It's the end of the Karate Kid if Johnny won the All Valley Karate Tournament. There's just it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't make any sense that Booker T gets no recourse. The next month he is in a 6-man tag where it's Chris Jericho, Ric Flair, and Triple H beating Booker T, Kevin Nash, and Shawn Michaels. And then they move to a feud between Triple H and Kevin Nash in 2003. And at the next pay-per-view, Christian defeats Booker T to win the Intercontinental title in a battle royal. So what good comes from the Booker T character?
It was very clearly they just needed a WrestleMania match. And if sometimes you just need a WrestleMania match, but if you're going to do that, don't book it as this really uncomfortable, being super almost overt. They threw a thin veil over it, but it's like don't do this big angle. Do the angle you were talking about, where it's like, hey, you were the king of the minor leagues type shit, right? And then Booker T almost beats him to show that he can hang, but then Triple H pulls it off at the end because WWF's better, or WWE, whatever it was at the time, probably F, right?
It's F still, I think. It's always, but and it's also always the WCW. Any opportunity we get to once again drive WCW into the ground, we're gonna do it.
Well, even JR did it in the. Before the match started in WrestleMania, Jerry Lawler was talking about how was trashing Booker T, was basically saying the Booker T was the champion when Vince Russo was champion, and JR says something like, "Oh, come on," and King goes, Jerry Lawler goes, "Did you work there?" "I did." And the King goes, "Was it a joke?" And JR goes, "Damn straight."
Right. We definitely.
And then he goes, "But Booker T wasn't a joke."
Yeah, but face in the doo-doo. If there's an opportunity to put WCW's face in the doo-doo, we're going to do it. For sure. So
fucking Bischoff was backstage just pissed off, dude.
So that's just on the level of some of the worst booking decisions in the history of wrestling, where it just doesn't make any sense for what wrestling is supposed to accomplish, on top of all of the other things that make it truly atrocious. So the next year at WrestleMania, Triple H loses the title to Chris Benoit in a triple threat with Shawn Michaels, and he taps out to Chris Benoit. So the WCW guy does go over. So Triple H is aware of the concept of the babyface winning at WrestleMania, just not at WrestleMania 19. WrestleMania 21, he loses to Batista for the world title, where Triple H is the champ again. WrestleMania 22, he loses to John Cena for the title. At WrestleMania 24, he loses in a triple threat to John Cena and Randy Orton. Randy Orton wins the title. And so, like, there's this weird thing where it's just losses after losses in these big main events, but he's always in the main event still. He's not, he's still around it the entire time, even if he loses the big match to some of the people that he should have lost these big matches to. You know?
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. He, based on this, he has lost more often than I thought he has. But I've just seen the high profile ones where he should have lost.
Right. WrestleMania 25, he beats Randy Orton in one of the most boring main events of WrestleMania, where if Triple H had been disqualified, he would have lost the belt. But of course he doesn't. He vanquishes the evil Randy Orton after he home invaded Randy Orton's house. That angle is crazy. And it's like,
sometimes you got to invade a home, you know what I
mean? They also had to follow The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Good luck with that one. He beats Sheamus the next year. No one cares. I literally have zero idea if that was the right decision, but you know, I don't care.
Listen, we saw Sheamus in a good match at WrestleMania, right? Yeah. The triple threat.
5 stars.
I don't know that I've ever cared about another Sheamus match. He does nothing for me.
It's interesting, and I forget on the scale of like why he came back, what the feud was. And this is a real memory hold era of WWE for me, because I wasn't really watching at this point. But like, whatever, he won this one. That's fine.
I'll also say this. I think there's a chance. Sheamus seems like he could be a good dude who just really enjoys his job and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's never done anything where I'm like, you know, personally, he doesn't
move the needle for you.
Gigantic ginger, you know? Yeah. That's cool. Sick.
The next
year, fighting.
Yeah, he likes to fight. That's the character. The next year, he loses to The Undertaker by submission in a no-holds-barred match. That was pretty good. There was a second in that match where I thought he was going to end the streak, and I was like, of course. Why wouldn't it be Triple H who ends this streak, right?
Yeah.
The next year, they rematch in a Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels as the special referee that they called the End of the Era match. I guess it's supposed to be the end of the Attitude Era, where Undertaker wins again by pinfall. I nearly put this match on the playlist, but this match is 50 minutes.
I was going to say, I bet that song is long. That match is long as.
It's also not the end of an era, because Triple H and The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are all at the next WrestleMania. So
they're just no longer doing the racist stuff. That's the era that they.
I was like, maybe it's the three of them all in the ring together. It's the end of the era, but it's baffling. It's part of the other problem with Triple H, which is the self-indulgence of his WrestleMania. Of his WrestleMania run,
we're just getting ramped up on that.
This is the tip of the iceberg. The Titanic has served dinner so far. We haven't hit the iceberg yet.
Everybody's had a couple drinks in them. They're not paying the most attention in the world, you know.
Yeah. So part of this is in 2010. Triple H's role in the WWF as senior advisor was officially formalized. He was given an office, and he was named the live events executive vice president in 2011. And in 2012, he was the executive vice president of talent, live events, and creative.
So when he stopped losing at WrestleMania, just so happened to be the same time that he got all these jobs where he would have been able to have a say in who loses at WrestleMania.
Well, and just being in charge of his angles. Like, it's interesting because we'll go through the rest of his WrestleMania profile here, but it's not like he smashes over on everyone that he wrestles, but he's just involved in all of these places where people were not wanting him to be involved.
Yeah.
Like his character just remains the annoying like central point, in spite of the fact that there's all these other guys that should be front and center. So WrestleMania 29 is the next one we're looking at. Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a no holds barred match that comes about because Lesnar had returned to the company the previous year and lost immediately to John Cena for whatever reason. The very next pay per view after he comes back from the UFC.
Well, they had to do that. He comes back from being UFC champion. You got to beat him immediately and let everybody know that your guys are better than the UFC guys. You know,
it's WCW Part 2. Got to make sure that he's not. They know he's not as good as John Cena.
Yeah.
But then he gets into a feud with Triple H. He breaks Triple H's arm in kayfabe with a Kimura lock. They have a match at SummerSlam where Lesnar beat Triple H by submission, and then Lesnar disappears for a while, as is his wont. This is such a part of WWE, of years of WWE, that I don't remember, that I completely forgot that Brock Lesnar F5'd Vince McMahon in 2013. I was watching
he F5'd him so hard he had to get a hip replacement.
Yeah, like I was watching the video package for this leading up, and I was like, is that fucking Vince taking the F5 from Lesnar? No idea. Completely forgot. So, of course, who's got to come back now for vengeance? Though no one F5's my father-in-law. Never mind all the times I hit him in the head with a sledgehammer over the years. That's my father-in-law.
That's my father. I can do it. I'm the cerebral assassin.
That's. I believe Brock Lesnar also broke Shawn Michaels' arm at one point with the Kimura lock. They're really doing a lot to get this Kimura over.
Yeah, and he broke Triple H's arm twice.
That's right. Two different times. Oh, we did it again. God.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, how did I get into this situation again?
I can't believe he pulled guard and put me in another Kimura. So I thought the best part of this is in the lead up to it, there in the video package, Heyman is just being slimy as hell, coercing Triple H to sign a contract where he doesn't know what the stipulation is. You got to sign the contract before Heyman reveals the stip. And Triple H pulls Lesnar or pulls Heyman over the top of this table and signs it on his chest and like stabs the knife or the pen into his chest, which I thought looked pretty cool. And then he goes, "Go call your monster," which is not cool. Ruins the coolness he had for 1 second, you know.
I might have popped a little bit for that. I might have.
So Triple H looks pretty good here. He's in pretty decent shape. Lesnar looks insane. This is like a peak Brock Lesnar in WWE.
He truly is a freaking silverback gorilla, bro. Like this is every time, and that's the thing about Brock Lesnar. I've seen him do a lot of things. I've watched him in UFC. I've watched him in pro wrestling. I've watched him in everything. And every time I see him, it's like I forgot how like gracefully he moves.
Yeah.
For such a big fucking guy. Like how quickly he picks people up for the F5, or like when he has to jump or explode somewhere and like all that stuff. Like Brock Lesnar it's almost like I'm glad, like he was good. He's been awesome in the WWE, obviously, but like imagine if he would have just stuck to a sport. Like,
yeah, or if MMA.
How did that guy not make the Vikings, bro?
Yeah, well, he got cut on the last day, I think, and he hadn't played football since high school.
I know.
Like he's an insane super athlete.
He's got to be the like one of the like, and he's never going to get this credit because he didn't play professional sports for long enough. He's got to be one of the best American athletes of all time. Like what? I doubt he's as fast as Bo Jackson, but I think he's as impressive as Bo Jackson in terms of like the actual crazy physical things that he can do. And I'm sure he's crazy fast for his size, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching this with my wife, and they cut to Lesnar while Triple H is coming out, and she goes, Triple H looks like a big dude. And then I see him next to Brock Lesnar, and I was like, yeah, that's the effect. He looks insane. And this is actually this is not a bad match. It's not a great match, but I don't think it's that bad. This is kind of before Lesnar went like video game cheat code where he just suplexes dudes. He's actually wrestling and doing some selling here. And Triple H has good fire. I don't find Triple H as a babyface to be that compelling. But he's fighting from underneath here. And it's okay.
I think it was fine, and I like we've talked about it before how I think like a hair change can really change your character. And I used to say jokingly about Roman Reigns, but like I say he should cut his hair because everybody hated him. But I like this like almost vigilante Punisher Triple H where he's just mad as hell and wants to get revenge on this guy. Like. Yeah. This is much better than a lot of the other iterations of Triple H that we watched in this whole thing, you know?
Yeah, it's a nice kind of breath of fresh air in regards to like a freshening up of his look. And there's a lot he does fight with fire, from underneath in this match, which made it more compelling, but like you were talking about with Lesnar, there's a point in this match where he picks up Triple H for the F5 and Shawn Michaels slides into the ring to try to super kick him. And in like one motion, he throws Triple H off his back and grabs Shawn Michaels' leg and flips him up into the F5. Incredible. Incredible
like
power.
He weighs nothing.
Yeah. He just snatched him out of the air. And then that particular F5 kills Shawn Michaels for about 20 minutes of this match. You see him later, he's selling by the guardrail, but he's still down. He's like crawled over to the guardrail from the one F5. Yeah. Just taking him out. Get a pedigree.
Well, he had to be down for because he had a spot planned later, so he had to make sure he was hurt until that came up.
Until that particular point. Pedigree, Lesnar kicks out of it. F5 from Lesnar, and Triple H gets to kick out of that. And then we get into the Kimura battle of this match. And then Lesnar throws him in the Kimura, has him for a while against the turnbuckle, and then he jumps up on the top turnbuckle and wraps his legs around Triple H for the Super Kimura. As a person who has opinions about the height of a maneuver causing more or less damage, do you think the Super Kimura hurts more?
I don't know, man. The only thing you can think of is if nothing is supporting Triple H's weight, then all of his weight is in that joint.
Yeah.
But no, if it was more effective, Khabib would do it.
Yeah. Or he would have made him tap out. If the Super Kimura hurts exponentially more than the regular one, why didn't that finish the match? Triple H hits him with a ball shot. Come on, man. What are we doing out here? Then the coward's way out.
Michael Cole's legal as soon as he did it.
This
just to remind everybody.
Cool, you're my boss. I would never doubt the things that you want to do. Right to the nads is what I say. Triple H also been rolling on the mats. He throws in the Kimura. Because of course, why can't Triple H also do it?
You Kimura me, I Kimura you.
Yeah.
You want Kimura this?
Yeah. We're going down to Kokomo for Kimuras. The spot you're talking about is very funny. While Triple H has Brock Lesnar in the Kimura, he yells to Paul Heyman, help.
Yeah.
So
Do something, you fat bastard.
yeah, you just stand there and encourage me, which is great, but sometimes you can jump
And
in here.
Heyman goes, what? Like he doesn't know what to do.
So Heyman jumps in the ring with a steel chair. This is where Shawn Michaels returns, like you said. Super kicks Heyman, kills Heyman. So now Heyman's out. Throws Triple H the sledgehammer to the head, and then pedigree on the steps, which looks funny because the pedigree normally looks funny because the guy has to jump, but it looks super funny when they're on the steps and then Lesnar has to jump back so his head can hit the steps.
And it, like put both arms out and catch himself like a foot and a half before his head hits the ground.
Yeah.
The worst thing, and we talk about this all the time. We talked about it last week. Bringing the problem with the Triple H sledgehammer is that you are bringing a weapon into this situation that you can't actually use. Like every time Triple H hits somebody with that sledgehammer, he has his hand on the end of the sledgehammer and he runs it into the guy, which, by the way, is the least effective way to hit somebody with a sledgehammer. All you have to do is swing the sledgehammer and hit this. If you really are about it, just hit the freaking guy with a sledgehammer. Like, so I understand that's his thing, and it was like iconic and all that stuff. But even when I was younger, I was like, he never like. Dude, you have a sledgehammer. There's one way to use a sledgehammer, and it's not a battering ram with your hand softening the blow,
Yeah, that's sort of the concerto problem, where like the concerto, sorry, looks cool. Where you put the guy on one chair and then you smash his head with the other chair.
Yeah,
and it's like that looks cool, but if you did that to someone, they would die. So can't.
But at least they're like hiding it. Like it looks like you can, if you really look, you can tell what they're doing. They're hitting at an angle so it doesn't land flat, Yeah. But it like at least that's what you would do. Like, like if they could figure out a way to concerto Triple H just hauling off and swinging and hitting a dude in the forehead with a sledgehammer, then I'd be fine with it. But this like hand in the way, battering ram BS, it's like, come on, man. Like choose a different thing. Get like a bullwhip. That'd be fun.
You pointed out. I think the other problem is they tried to use a rubber mallet for it, obviously, to work it. And I think one time he'd used it on The Undertaker, and then it broke and it actually like busted the Undertaker open and gave him a concussion. So there's maybe you retire that particular item, it's you were right. The sledgehammer's stupid because you can't use it in any effective way, and it looks more fake because you can't hide it because you have to put your hand over it so you don't kill someone.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm glad he's not killing anybody, but I'm just saying, like, let's find a more believable. Like, even the baseball bat's more believable, but still not believable because I've never seen Sting straight up swing that baseball bat and hit somebody over the head with it. I've only seen he jabs him in the stomach with it.
Uses it as a sword. There's
he broke Triple H's sledgehammer with it. Like it's like
getting ahead of us.
Listen, well, it was contextual.
Yeah. So Triple H wins this match, and you might be saying to yourself, Dusty, why is this one included? Triple H wins, otherwise his career would be over. He's got to win. He's the babyface. And normally I would agree with you, except the very next month they have a steel cage match where Brock Lesnar beats Triple H by pinfall. Because Triple H goads the heel somehow into accepting a steel cage match after he already lost to the guy. So he doesn't mind losing to Lesnar, but he won't lose to him at WrestleMania. And then they have a different stipulation match the very next month. Why do that? What is the point of that? Other than to
Triple
get
H
your win
didn't want to lose. Yep. Triple H didn't want to lose a WrestleMania, and they didn't want to bury Brock because Brock already lost when he came into the company to John Cena.
Yeah. So maybe this is just the fantasy booking episode, but if I'm doing this, I have Lesnar can lose at Lesnar can win at SummerSlam. He fucks off. He comes back. He beats up Vince. Triple H challenges him. Lesnar, they don't put the career on the line because don't do that. Just have it be a no holds barred match. Triple H, guess what? Loses that match. Now we have a babyface who's really got something that he needs to overcome. Now,
yeah,
Triple H challenges Lesnar in the cage. You can say like, man, I fought, like Lesnar or Triple H wants this match. Lesnar doesn't want to give it to him. And Lesnar finally goes, you know what? I'll give you this match. I've wrestled you in the ring. And yeah, I'm comfortable in the ring. But did you ever see me in the octagon? You know what I'll do to you in a cage? What I could do to you if you get in a cage with me? That's where I'm really at home. So if you want to fight me, if you want to say that you can finally beat me, after I beat you twice, has to be in a steel cage. And guess what? I don't want to deal with you anymore. So if I beat you in the cage, your career's over. You have to retire. Then at Backlash, the one that's not watched by as many people, this is the reason. WrestleMania, Triple H gets to have his big moment in front of all the people and beat Lesnar. But at Backlash, you have Triple H win when all the odds are against him, and he's against this monster in a steel cage, and his career's on the line. Why have a third match after the career on the line match? It just it baffles my mind that is so so conditioned by regular eras of wrestling where you build to the babyface victory after the heel gets all the heat. I don't.
Yeah, and
so
not everything has. Not everything has to. You're not saying this. Like not everything has to be like conventional and fundamental and all that. But there are certain things that make this whole thing work,
right,
and make sense. And like, especially how you book a WrestleMania. Every once in a while, like you're gonna have a Cody Rhodes loses in Hollywood and has to wait a whole other year to finish the story.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
I do not think that this needed to be one of those times.
No, I don't. And it doesn't hurt Triple H at all to lose to Brock Lesnar, as evidenced by the other two times he loses to Brock Lesnar. Like,
yeah,
he's fine either way. WrestleMania 30, Triple H is supposed to, according to original plans, wrestle CM Punk. CM Punk, being a guy who was super hot, who got beat by Triple H for no reason during the original Summer of Punk, is now decides, I don't want to wrestle Triple H, even if I'm supposed to win, because I don't want to deal with this guy. So this is when CM Punk fucks off for the first time in 2014. And so they go with Daniel Bryan, and they insert Triple H into Daniel Bryan's story as another obstacle before he can get to the main event, because of course Triple H is like, well, you're not good enough to be the champion. We see you as a B+ player. You're not, we don't want your name, out there. You're not a Batista or a Randy Orton type, so that gets us to WrestleMania 30, again inserting himself into a storyline that didn't necessarily need him to be in it. But he loses that match. And I believe that is the first wrestling event that you and I ever watched. And when we were watching it in context, I remember our conversation where I was like, you're like, well, Triple H is going to lose this thing, right? And I was like, you know what? I have no idea, because he should, but that doesn't mean that he will. He might very well beat Daniel Bryan, and then it's a triple threat between Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista for the world title. But he does the right thing, loses to Daniel Bryan, because he does fundamentally understand babyface heel dynamics and what needs to happen.
Yeah, that one, if you're gonna have like the main event be that, and you've been building up this giant underdog babyface, that would have been the most egregious. I think the worst one. Yeah. I think that would have been, minus the racism, obviously, that would have been worse than Booker T, I think, in terms of booking. If you literally set up this thing where like the underdog babyface has to win 2 matches to finally get to the mountaintop, and you don't even get him to the second match.
Yeah, that's,
oh, fuck, would they have booed the shit out of him in that one.
Now I say that he understands babyface heel dynamics, but then we get to WrestleMania 31.
Is 30 seen as one of the best WrestleManias?
30 seen as a very high level WrestleMania. I mean, that's Lesnar breaks the streak.
Yeah, that's Lesnar breaks the streak.
Daniel Bryan wins the title and the culmination of that. The Bray Wyatt John Cena match that I think Bray Wyatt should have won. We could do a John Cena WrestleMania episode maybe someday, but
oh man, but there was a 31-man Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on the main card.
Yeah, that was that one by Big Show, or was that the year Cesaro won? Yeah,
Cesaro won it, and the Shield beat Kane and the New Age Outlaws. You can't beat the Road Dogg at WrestleMania, dog.
In like a 2-minute match too. I think they only got like
2 minutes and 56 seconds.
Yeah, that was a quick one. The entrance for the Shield is longer than that because they have to come through the crowd, Jey Uso style. Got to get yourself
and then there was a
clock to time it.
There was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like a 15-woman match for the WWE Divas Championship, the Vicky Guerrero Invitational match. Do you remember who won that?
I believe that is AJ Lee won that.
AJ Lee did win that.
Yeah.
6 minutes and 48 seconds. There's 15 broads in this match. They get 6 minutes and 48 seconds.
You know, we're like right on the precipice of like the sort of revival of WWE,
the women's revolution,
women's revolution, plus like NXT coming in, and they're actually like bringing in guys that are interesting, you know, and they give the belt to Daniel Bryan. Oh, go ahead.
To further contextualize that, did you notice his WrestleMania 30 entrance? Triple H, the 3 girls that he has with him.
It's Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. And they're like dressed up in
like
whatever
harem.
Bullshit gladiator stuff that he's trying to get. Yeah. But I didn't notice like till the very end. I was like, is that Charlotte Flair? And I backed it up, and
yeah, there's like a
pretty
backstage thing where he's like, I want you guys to get out there and feel like what a giant crowd like this feels like and all of that. Like, we'll talk about it in my conclusion, but I have some thoughts about some of the other things. I really want, but also don't want to talk about WrestleMania 31, which took place at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California on March 29th, 2015. Okay. So at Survivor Series 2014, they bring in Sting. After years of him in TNA wrestling, saying that he wouldn't go to WWE, worried out loud that if he went to WWE, they might not treat his character very nicely.
Yeah, and I didn't know that he had never wrestled in WWE. Like, if you had asked me, I wouldn't have said yes. If you said, "Hey, did before then did Sting ever did Surfer Sting ever appear in the WWE?"
Right.
Every memory that I have of him is in WCW. But I'm like, well, God damn it! Like, he was one of the big guys at the time. I think he would have fit in certain eras of WWF back in the day. But I had to look it up, and because for those of you who are just discovering this podcast, this is Dusty, Wrestling Rain Man, teaching me, who started doing this podcast knowing absolutely nothing except for I knew about Rey Mysterio in 2000.
Yeah, you were familiar that he jumped out the sky.
And he's from San Diego. And so I was like 2000 to like 2002, really big into SmackDown. Never watched a single pay-per-view. Watched every SmackDown, and but we've watched a lot of old Sting stuff, and it was all WCW, obviously, because that's all it was. But I was like, well, is there a chance that he was there for a little? No, he was never there.
Yeah, that's it's whenever WCW went out of business in 2001, there was some thought, like, because Undertaker Sting was the thing that people kept being like, okay, at some point you got to do the Undertaker and Sting, and like, so
Yeah.
for a few years around WrestleMania time.
Sting has merely adopted the darkness.
Right.
The Undertaker was born in it, bred by it.
Yeah. There'd be a rumor mill like, oh, this is the year they're bringing Sting in, like, and it's going to be Sting and Undertaker, and never happened.
Then 9/11 happened, and they just
right. Then what are you going to do? And then so Sting for years is this ambassador now for TNA. He's their top guy. And he does some pretty memorable stuff in TNA. He does some pretty not very memorable stuff, but by the time he's out,
is he still Crow Sting with the makeup and everything
still
in TNA?
doing the Crow Sting, yeah. And then he was Joker Sting for a while. I didn't watch a lot of that TNA. I've watched a video about Joker Sting. It confuses me, but
I gotta see what Joker. Sting.
Yeah, gotta get your eyes on Joker Sting. He goes crazy because Hulk Hogan, if you'll believe this, is a corrupt leader for TNA, and it drives Sting to madness.
Nothing ever works for you, brother.
TikTok, brother. Nothing ever works for you.
TikTok, brother. Do I have enough of a tan today, Hulkster?
There
this is Joker Sting.
Yeah.
Oh God, damn it, Steve. What are you doing, Steve? Does he do the voice?
He does a voice. He's wacky.
And a laugh.
Yep. That's. I mean, look,
man, that looks like that might stink, Dusty.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that it's very well regarded. But it's he
put the caca in caca. How about that one?
I like that one. Not out of the park.
Looks like hey, look, it's Sting-O from Jackass.
You're on fire, dude.
I'm just fucking killing it, dude. I'm on top of my game today.
So finally he comes over, and the big thing is Triple H, if you'll believe it, on screen, kind of a megalomaniac. He's running wild. The Authority is taking out people, and it's for the good of the people. All good authoritarian talking points within the Triple H regime at this point, and Sting is the man to come in and teach him a lesson, right? He's the hero.
Yeah, Triple H is like, we got all these people from other wrestling companies coming in and eating up all of our resources. They're beating up our baby faces.
Yeah.
They're opening shell wrestling schools and just taking our
it's like
anyway, we got to bomb Iran.
Yeah,
Sting's gotta come in and stop.
Yeah,
we got to bomb the Iron Sheik. That's what it's going to come down to.
This is a really kind of a fallow period creatively for WWE, where again it's just like WWE is the heel, as the promotion is the heel that Triple H is making all these decisions for that are quote unquote supposed to be good for business, and it's holding down the baby faces, right? Sting is here now, and he's gonna take him back. And of course, in the lead up to this, Stephanie McMahon cuts a promo where they're like, WCW was Bush League. How's it feel to be in the big time, Sting? You were just a big fish in a small pond, and now you're here. And all the bullshit WCW talking points that WWE has attached to any WCW wrestler.
Booker T's in the back, don't let him do this to you, brother.
Yeah, don't listen to him.
He's gonna beat your ass at the end of this. I'm telling you that right now. There is no payoff for you, brother. They better be giving you the bag. Good thing you're not black. This would be a lot worse.
I hope you enjoy that one payday, man. And then Sting's like, I'm not fighting for WCW. I'm here to take Triple H down. Wrong. You are. Either way, even if you were fighting for WCW, I think Toes pointed at the sky for the old Stinger in this one. So Sting's entrance is dope. I think it's pretty cool. They've got taiko drums, and they've got the I believe it's Japanese drumming corps that are playing these taiko drums, and it sounds awesome. And there's a guy just wailing on a gong. That guy's having the best time of everyone at WrestleMania, just bashing that gong.
It was a bunch of I don't understand. We just got like a.
I don't know how
I'm
it
gonna
ties
have
to Sting
I'm gonna
as
have
a guy.
Terminator.
But yeah,
I'm gonna have Terminator. We got a bunch of Asian drum guys, and we're just gonna paint their face like yours. And Steve was like, "There's one white guy."
Except the one guy who doesn't paint his face, who was the guy I'm obsessed with, who I hope was the leader of the drum troupe, and was like, "Look, you can hire my drum troupe. I'm not wearing face paint.
Yeah,
I refuse to wear face paint.
I'm not gonna subject myself to that. Can I say I'm allergic? Can we just say that?
Will not do it. Sting is out here in his Sergeant Pepper jacket, which actually it looks
he is
pretty
Sergeant
cool.
Peppering.
Yeah, he's going to be a part of a Lonely Hearts Club band by the end of this thing.
Man, boy, and he hits us with an early caw.
Yeah,
as soon as he walks out,
he's got to get it in.
Try to get a little bit of get a feel of the crowd, see if they're cawing with him.
Yeah,
crowd seems to love Sting,
which is funny because I watched an interview with the Road Dogg, the patron saint of this podcast, and he was talking about this match, and he's like, the funny thing is, he's like, Vince never watched other wrestling. He's like, Vince didn't know who Sting was, or if he did, he was really good at pretending he didn't. He's like, Vince is walking around.
That's what I always hear about Vince. Vince doesn't know anybody that wasn't his shit.
And Vince is walking around asking people if Sting is going to get a positive reaction at WrestleMania. He's like, the Sting guy, he's over, right? People are going to.
You think they've heard of this fucking guy?
Drives me insane.
That's how you get the ringmaster, dude.
Yeah,
what do you think he would have called him? Sting? Like you're the
Borden. Let's see. That's you're like a board.
Oh, you're the board man.
Yeah,
you're the board member.
You're a board. You're boring. You're the board man. Hold on, I'm circling it. Give me 1 second. He's like, I'm Sting. I've been an extremely popular character for decades.
Shut up. We already had the board man that was Hacksaw, and so.
Yeah, let's see.
You're the chairman of the board.
Has anybody used? No, that's the Carrot Top movie that I adore. Let's see. Hold on. give me a second. Then in a moment of infamy,
Scuba Steve. That's what it is. Everybody's been. That was a big movie, wasn't it?
there's a mini movie actually, which is very WCW, which Triple H would hate because he's WWE through and through. But there's a little mini movie, The Streets of Santa Clara, where a drone is finding various people, and I'm like, what, dude? What is happening? What are they doing? And then it cuts to Levi Stadium, and then Terminator movie props like the T-1000 all metaled out without the Arnold stuff on it comes up, and guess what? That looks sick because the T-800 and the T-1000, like the design of those in movies, look awesome. It looks awesome.
Yeah, the only thing that's hurting it is it's literally just figurines on blocks that they rolled out.
Yeah. I mean, like when it's coming out of the stage, you're like, oh, that's sick, and then it's like, well, you can't really do anything with them.
They're just big toys.
Yeah,
the technology wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Boston Dynamics would have had those things kill half the crowd.
Well, then they do a scan. There's a POV scan of the crowd, and guess what? Extremely hostile. It
says like something like it. Yeah, it does. It says like scanning Levi Stadium crowd, extremely hostile
environment. Yeah, and so if this were AI or Claude or whatever, they would have destroyed half of Levi Stadium. Triple H comes out, and the problem is, like you said, you're in the sun. It's daytime. This isn't custom made to Triple H. It's not in a movie. It's just a dude wearing 3/4 of a Terminator Halloween costume, and it looks stupid when you see it. Like when you see it that way, like much like the figurines, like you were saying, if it's not within the context of the movie, it looks really stupid.
It's so dumb. Like if I'm trying to find, I have a picture of it because the hands over his hands.
Yes, it's an exoskeleton, right? So
this thing. So like they're just not attached to his arms at all.
No.
And then the couple of close-ups that they do on the eye part, like this just looks like a shitty. It looks like something you buy at Walmart, like it's plastic, like a kid wears it and thinks he looks boss. Like this just makes no sense at all. But Terminator gave them a lot of money for this, and even like they've got Arnold. Arnold comes on stage, and I can't remember what the first thing he says, but then he goes, "It's time to play the game."
It's on.
And then they hand him $100,000 check.
Oh, it's Judgment Day. Because Terminator. That's what he says. He's on screen, and they're like, "It is Judgment Day," and then so that's part of it. And then he rises on the stage with the Terminators for a second on their little podiums. And then he comes down and it cuts back to him. And now he's got 2 handfuls of chain that have Terminator skulls on them. So is he a Terminator? Is he a Terminator killer? Does he think that Sting killed those Terminators and now he's back for vengeance? What is
if Sting killed the Terminators, you're probably not holding their skulls like they're a bunch of fish that you hooked together.
Right.
And if you killed all these Terminators, what was up with wearing the arms and doing all the things? Were you like a sleeper cell undercover agent that ended up vanquishing all these Terminators?
Right. And if so, why is that intimidating Sting? Sting's not a Terminator. He's just a guy.
God, I just wish I had Sting's internal dialogue.
Well, they cut back to Sting, and Sting is he looks over like he's going, does this guy think he's the fucking Terminator? He's like, and they said WCW was Bush League. Look, I've been in the fire match where I fell off the top of the Titantron against Vampiro, and this is some Bush League shit to me. I've been in the
that shit was hilarious.
I've been in the graveyard match, and yet this looks dumber than that.
I will say, aside from the vignette scanning stuff that looked really bad, like it was just like the technology to make stuff look cool was not quite there yet. Like we were in between the 90s where things sometimes looked cool because like they stylized it after like the old school computer, so there's a lot of green, there's a lot of blocky stuff, and like that stuff can look cool. This is when everything's trying to look like modern and new, and that looks like shit. But like in the building, I bet this was a cool entrance to see. Like, and I wonder how much money the WWE got for
a huge bag for Terminator Genesis, a terrible movie. The most irritating, like this match is almost nothing. Like Sting is older. Triple H can't carry a guy anymore. There's a lot of like slow moving offense and a long heat segment again from Triple H where he's just beating Sting up. The thing I found the most irritating in this entire match is the commentary the entire time is straight up burying Sting about how much he sucks and about how much WCW sucked and how, man, can you imagine Triple H had to get in his head by dressing like a Terminator on Halloween, and Sting's never been in front of a crowd this big, and what's he going to do? There's got to be all these nerves, and like who's the baby face? Am I supposed to cheer for Triple H, who's the guy in charge that's purposefully making my wrestling shittier in storyline by beating up all my heroes and all the guys I want to win? Or is Sting the babyface? Am I supposed to think Sting's the heel, the guy that's the Avenger who's coming in to supplant the guy I hate? I'm just supposed to be like, no, Triple H was in WWE a long time. Like, that makes him the good guy. And Sting's the bad guy because he came from the other place.
He's our asshole.
Yeah, like, the dynamic makes no sense. And then Sting gets Triple H in the Scorpion Deathlock. And here comes D-Generation X. Sean Waltman, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn. And Billy Gunn, again, doing his trademark, like, sprint to the ring and slide inside. Nobody wants to get to the
immediately
ring
being
than Billy
dispatched.
Gunn. Yeah, yeah. Well, he's the only one who can
And
take a
nobody
bump.
gets out of the ring faster than Billy Gunn.
Yeah, the Road Dogg, again, who we love, looking in rough shape here, and poor Sean Waltman, like he can't take a bump. Billy Gunn's the only dude in this trio that could possibly sell for Sting.
Road Dogg is in peak thumb head Road Dogg scenario.
Yeah,
I forgot he got that tattoo on the back of his head. That's unfortunate, but
yeah.
like, yeah. So the D-Generation X runs out. Sting punches all of them off of the apron basically, and then he turns around and he throws Triple H over the apron, right over the top rope.
Yep.
And then he hits him with a nice little crossbody.
Yeah, to the floor. That's nice. And then they get back in the ring. Triple H hits a pedigree, but Sting kicks out. But who do you ask? Who can come to Sting's defense against D-Generation X? Bow, 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 da, 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 da. It's the NWO.
And I was because we watched this together.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, they brought out freaking DX because I've forgotten what happened, and I'm like, okay, so they're gonna, the NWO has to come out right now, unless like Scott Hall's in rehab right now, and so listen, I'm not exceptionally angry at them turning back the clock and giving everybody a chance to see DX go toe to toe with the NWO, even if it is geriatric ass. Like Scott Hall does not look good.
No, the NWO guys are having a tough time getting out of the ring.
Well, and Nash looks good. Like he looks old, but he looks like he's in good shape.
Yeah.
Hogan looks old, but he looks shorter. I don't know if like Hogan got shorter as the year. He probably would say, "I lost 6 inches, brother." But like, I think he had a lot of back surgeries.
He had a lot
of
back surgeries at this point. Yeah.
So Hogan looks shorter. Scott Hall had a lot of miles on him, man. Yeah. He looked like he was a little swollen, like and he does the classic though. He's coming out flying the airplane. Yep. And then he does this guy like he's scared.
The spooky fingers. Yep.
Yeah, and so listen, I don't hate this stuff. You know me, I'm generally anti-nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, and this kind of was that. But in wrestling, like if we're in that building, and even like with all the dumb fuckery that's happening, you would get a little bit excited to get to see the DX go after the NWO, you know?
Yeah, I don't want to come off as a dude who's got a axe to grind, particularly
a horseshoe up his ass like Frank Mir.
It's a cool thing, and it's smoke and mirrors that you need for this match, and I don't know what else you would have done. But
they needed some of this for sure.
It doesn't make sense that the NWO comes out to help Sting, the main nemesis of the NWO, and Scott Hall.
Listen, he's our asshole. Sting ended up joining the NWO.
In our WCW deep dive later, we'll talk about how terrible that idea was.
I know, but still, like didn't they kind of end up on the same side?
Nash and him, Hogan and Hall were never with Sting because he joined NWO Wolfpack, bro. You gotta remember the Wolfpack.
God damn it!
And Nash and Nash and Hall are friends with Triple H, and it's not like a secret that they're super close with each other. So it's like, what are you going to do? These are the two sides, right? So you want to do the Monday Night War, and you definitely don't want like Scott Norton from the NWO coming out to represent the NWO. You got to get your guys. If
Marcus Bagwell came out, that'd be cool. If I'm okay with this, and the commentators were like, who are they here to help? And but I mean, the WCW guys got to help the WCW guys. That's an old feud that they had, you know?
Yeah. Like you said, Scott Hall takes a backdrop on the floor. Looks really ill-advised of Scott Hall to take that bump.
He was setting up his finisher on
Road Dogg.
It was Road Dogg, and Road Dogg just flipped him over. And he like it wasn't a crazy bump. I'm proud of him for at least taking a bump. Nash hits a pretty gnarly clothesline on Billy Gunn. Was it was that who he clotheslined?
Yeah.
And the Hulkster didn't do a thing, right? I don't think
he got
like
posted.
Hulkster
He got posted by by X-Pac. He got pushed into the post.
Okay.
But
okay,
he he's not doing a lot. He's mostly standing. Of course, then Sting gets Triple H back in the Scorpion Deathlock, and then Shawn Michaels, who had not come out with the other DX guys, shows up in cowboy boots, super kicks Shawn Michaels to thunderous boos for Shawn Michaels. Again, it's just like, who's the alignment? Who are the good guys? Canonical good guy at this point. Shawn Michaels is helping, but that's his guy. It just kayfabe wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, I would have been happy to see Shawn Michaels, so I don't want to be too curmudgeon.
And I meant to say this earlier with the Lesnar match. Old Shawn Michaels, 90s sexy boy Shawn Michaels, kind of a fashion icon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's wearing the suits. When he lost his smile, I think he's in like a tan suit when he's out there just talking about it. I can't remember. He always dressed well. Blue collar old guy Shawn Michaels. I don't know if anybody in the history of the world has dressed worse than like he just looks really dumb with like his pants tucked into his giant cowboy boots, and he wears those weird like the rhinestone cowboy like super curly cowboy hats that he wears
with like a Carhartt vest.
It's just a weird thing like but I mean, it's Shawn Michaels. Goddamn,
he's the guy. The biggest pop in this match for me is when DX gives the sledgehammer to Triple H, and he's like, oh good, shit's on, and he starts walking towards Sting, and Scott Hall very coolly, because Scott Hall can only do things cool,
he does everything cool.
The bat to Sting. That was like, I was like, okay, there's your big nostalgia cool moment. And then Sting breaks the sledgehammer in half, which again looked really cool. Like, and Triple H starts begging off, and we get a Stinger splash in the corner, and then Sting goes for another one, and Triple H hits him with the half of the broken sledgehammer and pins Sting to win this match. I do not understand. Well, like, I guess it makes sense. We got WCW guy got buried, the Lesnar UFC guy got buried, another WCW guy gets buried. But the most egregious thing, the thing that made me yell at my TV, both in probably 2016 and now, is after the match, both sides are getting their guy up. DX has Triple H getting back up, and they're kind of wary, and the NWO's in the ring, and they're kind of skirting around to get Sting back up, and everybody's in the ring, and they're like looking at each other, and then Triple H sticks his hand out to Sting, and Sting shakes Triple H's hand. Dude, I don't understand wrestling. If that's, Sting is supposed to stop the authority. He hates this guy. He agrees Triple H sucks and is bad for business and is a small time shitty dictator of the thing that he's in charge of. Right, here comes Sting. Sting's supposed to help everybody. Sting gets beat after the guy who's the heel cheats to beat him, and Sting shakes that guy's hand for some reason. Hey man, great job. You tried to cave my head in with this sledgehammer, and you still suck, and probably are going to keep running things the way you ran them. But you know what? Hats off to you, man. This cause for you.
Everybody likes a little bit of competition. You know what I mean? You respect among boys.
Yeah. I mean, both teams played hard. You know, like. I don't understand. Like, beating Sting, it doesn't make any sense. But then to add the handshake, like now Sting's got to give it up to Triple H, who beat him by cheating, is not in the Sting character at all, in my opinion. But it, there you go. That's WrestleMania 31.
That was the longest match of the night.
Yep.
The second longest match was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yep.
In which the Big Show won by last eliminating Damien Mizdow.
Hell yeah, dude.
But Daniel Bryan won the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. That was a cool moment. Yep. That was good. Randy Orton defeated Seth Rollins.
Yep.
That
AJ cool Lee too. And that's where the pop-up RKO came from.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. AJ Lee and Paige defeated the Bellas by submission in a tag team match. Apparently not for the tag team belt. Did they have a women's tag team belt at the time or no?
Not then, I don't think.
Okay. John Cena defended Russian Rusev by pinfall for the U.S. Championship with the tank.
And the tank, dude. Yeah.
That was peak Rusev, man. They got to bring Rusev back, dude. The Undertaker defeated Bray Wyatt by pinfall
in a truly disappointing match. I was really hyped for that match. I think Bray Wyatt had hurt his back.
Listen, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. We love you, but it is the story of his career.
Yeah,
it is a disappointing matches.
Guess what? Could have put the Undertaker in that Sting match, couldn't you?
That actually would have been pretty sick.
Pretty boss. And then if
that would have made more sense.
If Sting loses to the Undertaker, guess what, dog? It's fine.
It's the Undertaker. Like that's the thing. That's kind of the worst thing about the Triple H thing is like, you can have somebody beat Sting, but it should be like a full-time wrestler guy. You know what I mean? Like a guy.
Well, and
was Triple H full-time at the time?
No, he wasn't.
I didn't think so.
Well, and neither was the Undertaker, but a guy whose reputation precedes him as a guy who buries people and wins matches he shouldn't win, and in the storyline is doing the same thing. It's not backstage scuttlebutt. They're putting it on as the main storyline. That this guy's in charge and he wields his power irresponsibly, and this guy's supposed to come in and fix it, and he loses and gets no recourse. There's no Sting Triple H rematch where Sting gets the win back. That's
just, I mean, they just classic. Listen, we talk about nostalgia. They classic WCW'd it with Bischoff always winning. It's the same shit,
Yeah, well, okay. He got it both times, dude.
Yeah.
The Starrcade 97 and WrestleMania 31.
I know.
And the NWO's involved.
History rhymes, Dusty. Yeah. History rhymes.
I mean, Starrcade's worse because, like, how do you fuck Starrcade up?
How could you possibly just make a decision the night of, you idiots? But real quick to tie a ribbon on it, main event of WrestleMania 31. You know this one very well, Dusty. What happens?
That is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. But Seth Rollins cashes in and defeats Brock Lesnar to win the title in a very cool moment. Like that was a really good cash in and a really awesome finish to that match.
So overall, I'd say that's a pretty decent WrestleMania.
Yeah, the show itself is very good. The booking, guess what? A lot of the booking made sense. I don't know if you have the guy who has the tank lose necessarily, but whatever.
I was really bummed out about that.
Yeah,
and as you know, Dusty, I am an American patriot, but boy, did I want the Russians to win that one.
Yeah, the Bulgarians. But for our purposes,
we know what was happening there.
All right, just to round out Triple H's WrestleMania career. WrestleMania 32, he is defeated by Roman Reigns for the WWF title because, again, he won the title at Royal Rumble to get another main event where Roman Reigns beats him, and the crowd booed. Vociferous boos for this main event with Triple H losing to Roman Reigns. WrestleMania 33, he loses to Seth Rollins in a non-sanctioned match. WrestleMania 34, Kurt Angle
Not
and
saying.
Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey beat Triple H and Stephanie McMahon by submission. That's the right decision. And then in his final WrestleMania match, he defeated Batista in a no holds barred match where if he had lost, he would have been forced to retire. So all of that's fine. Batista wanted to have his last match with Triple H. He specifically requested it. This match only got 2 stars, so it's not like particularly good, but whatever. In total, Triple H has main evented 7 WrestleManias. His record at WrestleMania is 10 wins and 13 losses. But here's the thing. He's never lost a match at WrestleMania that, in my opinion, he should have won. And he's won a bunch of them that he should have lost. So that's the paradox. The whole point, when I sent this idea to Andrew, I wrote, I think we should do an episode on the Triple H WrestleMania paradox, which is if you just look at it on paper, he's losing all these matches where you're like, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. But without the further context of he's putting himself in another main event, he's involving himself in another storyline where the crowd doesn't want him in it. You lose that, and then you look at the wins with context, and you're like, he should have never beaten Booker T. He probably shouldn't have beaten Lesnar. He certainly shouldn't have beaten Sting. None of those make sense from a booking or storytelling standpoint. So even though he has a loss record, technically, it is still a bad WrestleMania record.
Yeah, I agree. It's because that's how I don't know if this is how the world remembers him. I feel like it is because I hear it from multiple people. But like, I feel like for me, Triple H's WrestleMania legacy is those matches that is inserting himself into things where he didn't need to be involved, and then he gets the crazy entrance, and then like all that stuff, and like and doing things like beating Booker T, beating Sting, like going over these guys that he shouldn't have gone over. That's what I think of. That's why I was surprised when you said that he has a losing record, or you started rattling off all the losses he had, because I don't remember any of those.
Yeah.
I just remember the chicanery.
Right. And it's like, yes, he lost to Daniel Bryan, but should he have been in that that match in the first place? And like, should he have been in that storyline in the first place? And that's last minute pivot because he lost his opponent for that year's WrestleMania. But there are also he'll never beat the charges of a guy who put himself over other talent that were more over at the time, and he was just an instant roadblock that stopped momentum that those guys then had to get back. Because we're not talking about any of the times that he beat guys that he shouldn't have beat at any of the other pay-per-views, which there are a lot of examples of.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting as a thing that he's in all these main events, and I don't know that there's a lot of interest as far as like in the pay-per-view era that he moved the needle putting himself in these matches to sell these shows. He's just part of the bigger WrestleMania thing, and
he's always like, he's a big name. Like if they, and I think he's like not medically, because is it heart or something? He can't wrestle again.
He had a cardiac event, so he can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah, and like if they announced another Triple H match at the next WrestleMania, I would roll my eyes and then watch, because I'd be interested to see what was going to happen. Like if the heart thing didn't exist, if the heart thing didn't, since the heart thing exists, I hope he stays away. But it's probably good if he stays away even the heart thing doesn't exist. But you know what I mean? Like
right.
Triple H is like one of the bigger. I mean, what would you call him? At least top 10 or 15 WWE superstar ever.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, if
in terms of importance, at least.
Yeah, you're looking at top 10, top 15.
Because he's been around for a long. I mean, he wrestled in so many different eras, and he was relevant. Like even when he was like low to mid card, like Blue Blood, Better Than You, Greenwich, Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he was in some interesting feuds. He had some memorable moments, like all that stuff. He always found a way to be memorable, and then he gets to the Attitude Era, and he's in DX, which is like the heartbeat of the entire non-Austin part of the like. I feel like Austin was the star, but DX were the I want to say mascots, but mascots almost like demeans. I don't mean it that way, but like, you know what I mean? They were the symbol. They symbolized the Attitude Era better than anybody aside from maybe Austin, you know?
Yeah, I'd say it's Austin, Rock, then DX.
Sure.
You gotta do the Rock. But yeah, like you're right.
Yeah.
They were the other side
like
of the
the
coin.
Spirit of the Attitude Era was like DX. It was this like counterculture, like prankster, like that's the vibe of all the shows, and it seemed like DX really set the tone for that a lot of the time, you know.
They were in fact the original prankster, so
they might have been.
So in 7 WrestleMania main events, the average star rating for a Triple H match is 3.5 stars, which is not terrible, but it's not great.
That's pretty good for a lot of the fucking garbage we've watched, you know.
Yeah, there's
what's Hulk Hogan's average?
Right. So like he mostly delivered in these situations, decent matches, and again put over a lot of guys, but it always seemed like he had his better matches. Like with Batista, he put Batista over at WrestleMania. They had better matches months later. It was never. It was the right decision then to put him over, but not necessarily the best matches. So, do you want to quickly run down the Triple H entrances? There's a lot of them that don't take much time, and then there's a couple that do, or we can just skip them.
Yeah, we can just do a quick once over. Like Triple H's entrances got weirder and crazier and like more masturbatory as they went along. Like they're making Roman phalanxes around him. He's wearing masks. Like I'm sick of the masks, man. Like he's on the crown. He dubs himself the King of Kings, which is very blasphemous.
It's an interesting iconography set, for like, because it's all Conan the Barbarian cosplay or Masters of the Universe kind of cosplay stuff. Like more often than not, he looks like Skeletor from He-Man. It's like he's
it's just so funny. It's one of them was really funny because he's sitting on a throne. He's got all this like medieval iconography around him, and then the iron crosses that he always has, and skulls, and like he's wearing what looks like a woolly mammoth jacket, like a woolly mammoth fur jacket, and he's holding a plastic water bottle that just takes all immersion out of it.
It's like that promo shot from Game of Thrones, or no,
where there's a Starbucks cup.
Yeah. It's Conan the Barbarian is from WrestleMania 22, where he wrestled John Cena. And it's like part of the problem for most of these too is it's like that might look cool for a minute, and then he's just a guy. So it's like even at WrestleMania 30, he's got the big throne, and he's got Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss with him, and he's got like I think at WrestleMania 30 the Skeletor shit looked pretty cool. He had like a big cape with the clasp and the helmet and all that. But then when he takes all that off, he's just a dude wearing trunks. Like it's the same
thing with the Cody Rhodes eagle head that he wears.
Yeah, then you're just a dude,
Then you're just a guy in a wrestling match that's you're gonna act like you're this like ancient warrior, and then you're gonna come in here, and when the referee tells you to get off him after 5 seconds, you're gonna get off him.
Yeah, there are 2 Motorhead performances. He got played to the ring at WrestleMania 17 and WrestleMania 21. Neither time does Lemmy know the words to this song. He might know less words to it at WrestleMania 21, but who knows? It's all vibes. It's all Motorhead vibes,
Yeah, it's just him being Lemmy's cashing a check, and he probably thinks wrestling's the dumbest fucking thing that ever existed.
Yeah.
And
so you want to pay me to be there and play 4 minutes long? All right.
He's literally going, it's all about the game, and now you play it, but I have a game, a daddy with the game.
Yeah, he probably forgot he recorded that song. So
That's us.
at WrestleMania 18, he gets played to the ring by Drowning Pool, who I did not remember. Were doing a version of the theme song, "The Game," with different lyrics. So that's just a different song. They're not covering the Motorhead song. They're just doing a different song.
And one of them, I can't remember which entrance he had, that was just the most blatant ripoff of "For Whom the Bell Tolls" I've ever heard in my life.
So here's the thing. That's WrestleMania 27 when he wrestled The Undertaker. That when they originally aired it, they played "For Whom the Bell Tolls," the real version. And so now this is up on YouTube.
They've overdubbed it.
They overdubbed it with the shitty knockoff "For Whom the Bell Tolls."
It's funny because it's crazy how you can just slightly change the notes and make it like such a worse song. Like it's like "For Whom the Bell Tolls" is probably like a 9 or like almost a 10 in
that
terms
is my
of like
favorite Metallica song. So yeah,
it's at least one of mine. I'd have to think about it, but I would be completely comfortable calling it my favorite Metallica song. But I was like listening to it, and there's certain things that sound all like pretty much the same, but it was like, I mean, the WWE's been doing that for a long time, right? They just like they vanilla ice the shit out of a very popular song.
Yeah. That one also, he comes out like he couldn't help himself. They do the fake "For Whom the Bell Tolls," at least on this, and then he has like a Spartan army with the shields in front of him, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Like that looks kind of sick. And then they break formation, and then he's just in the Skeletor shit again, and I'm like, God damn it, dude. Well, one time.
He could have went full Spartan for that one.
Yeah, you could have went full Spartan.
The helmet with the thing.
Do 300. It's all you're cosplaying anyway, but stick to a theme, Paul, if you're gonna do it, you know.
And I gotta admit, man, like, you know me, I like the theatric stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was a Tyson Fury fight, like maybe my favorite entrance in the history of combat sports. Tyson Fury came out, and it was a bunch of people carrying him on a throne. And he was fighting a Mexican fighter that night to a mariachi song, and he had like a crown on, but it was like a little off, like this, you know, the cool way to wear the crown, and like I love that type of stuff. So like I'm not mad at this. I think they get corny, and I think they make weird decisions at a lot of them.
Yeah,
but like
I think or go ahead, sorry, you're
fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
I think it's like his aesthetic is. It is cool until you take it and then you have to make a practical thing about it, you know, like it's all skulls and motorcycle shit and like these, like this iconography that's like can be pretty badass, but then when he has like the Triple H castle playset thing set up so he can walk out of it, that just it looks like a bad movie prop. I'm like, dude, that looks bad. That is not as cool or as boss as you think it is, and it looks silly. He uses the Castle Grayskull 2 times, and one of the times they add dry ice, and he got dry ice on himself before he had to wrestle Brock Lesnar.
See, I don't think that was dry ice. I think they used fire extinguishers for the fog, and that was fire extinguisher foam.
Oh, okay. Whatever it was, he said he got like burns on his body from it.
Okay,
so that's what made me think it was dry ice. But you might be right.
I think because that's what they looked like, fire extinguisher foam to me. Because dry ice doesn't really like. I guess you can make like dry ice bombs, but that would have been really stupid because dry ice is so dangerous, you know. Yeah. But it was very funny watching him like slowly realize that he has all that shit on him, and he's like looking down, and he took a drink of water and went trying to like spit it down to like knock it off of his stomach.
Yeah.
And Brock is in the ring, like you could I felt like you could tell Brock was like, am I allowed to laugh at this? Like it would be funny if I laughed at this.
Yeah. It's he just came out of a play set and he's got dry ice all over him, you know. The last few Triple H entrances, so there's the year that he has like a skull army of dudes that all have the WWF replica belt, and Stephanie McMahon's doing some V for Vendetta ass community theater monologue about hope being lost and being crushed underfoot and all of this stuff. and she sounds crazy. But I thought the Skull Army looked pretty cool. I wasn't mad at the
Yeah,
Skull
she's
Army.
basically like saying that he all like we're better than you. That's basically what it was.
Yeah,
It was dry ice.
Yeah, that's what I
It
thought
was
I heard
dry
him
ice.
say. But yeah, that sucks, dude.
The dry ice didn't vaporize properly, and he got 2nd-degree burns.
And then had to fake fight Brock Lesnar, which is no small feat, even if it's predetermined, you know.
And I've heard 2nd-degree burns hurt worse than 3rd-degree burns.
Because the nerves, right?
Yeah, that might be just you could hit a guy's nose bone through his brain situation. This is something that just people say.
That might be 80s karate logic or 80s karate wisdom. Yeah, that sucks, dude.
They're saying that it didn't vaporize properly because your dry ice is constantly turning into gas.
Yeah, I bet like all day he was like, "This is gonna look sick as fuck, dude." And then,
dude, so he's like, "I'm ruined."
The last,
God damn it, this hurts.
The last 3 for WrestleMania 32, 33, and 34 kind of takes on a theme where he's got a big ass trike motorcycle at WrestleMania 33 or 32 maybe, whichever one, and Stephanie McMahon's on the back. See, that looks stupid.
There's a better shot of it. Like it's just so funny. But like if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, there's video on Spotify too. It's just so funny coming out of that skull thing and having a blunder.
Yeah,
it's just very funny. And he slowly tries to get it off of him as he's walking. But like, props to him for playing it off because I didn't know that was dry ice.
Yeah,
that hurt like shit, and he's just walking like pretty much normal. You can tell a little bit, but like
he's just under.
He looked more annoyed.
Like, he's under his breath. He's like, "Stay cool, look cool. You're the baddest motherfucker."
The game doesn't flinch for this shit, dog.
Big tricycle is funny. With Stephanie McMahon on the back. I wish they would have sidecarred her. Like if she had been in like a little sidecar, that would have made it more fun for me. But
the little monkey car.
Yeah, just like that. Like I guess if you're into motorcycles and shit, like that's maybe that's cool. It looked silly to me. At WrestleMania,
they were trying to do this like king and queen thing for a while. Like they both got their own motorcycles at the next one.
Yeah, but the problem also is like he has to drive that so slow down the ramp that it's almost like, what's the point of having it?
Well, shit, dude, you saw what happened when Stone Cold tried to go fast. He almost killed a lady.
Well,
in the front
I'm saying
row.
maybe not do any all-terrain vehicles at all. You know,
listen, bro, this is America.
The next year they clearly joined a motorcycle club because they just got motorcycle club energy. They're all in a line heading down to the ring. And then the last one I actually like, which is he's on the back of like a Mad Max ass Fury Road bullshit like big gas hog, and that thing looks sick. And he looks cool in the like Mad Max like mask thing that they made for him, the bandana
because he's not in this like big like elaborate costume bullshit.
Yeah,
he just has like a mask over his face that's like a cloth mask, and he's in his wrestling gear with a vest on. Like I think this is the best one. I could have done without the like Mad Max movie shit behind him.
Sure, the caravan.
But
yeah,
but like I think this was my favorite one. They got the flames coming out of the pipes.
Yeah. You got to put the Duke Warrior on the front of it playing the guitar. That's the only thing that's missing from Mad Max Fury Road that would have made it even more sick.
That would have been pretty wild. It's Elias.
Yeah. Yeah, like, but I thought like, oh, this is sick. That looks really cool. So some of them, like, it is really hit or miss whenever the longer it gets, but it does get very self-involved as far as the entrances go, which just adds another level to the whole Triple H thing, you know?
Yeah. Because nobody was getting the Undertaker got elaborate stuff, but it wasn't like even that elaborate. Like Cody Rhodes gets the mask. Who else? Like Dom Mysterio coming up with a police escort was hilarious. That was at the
really
WrestleMania
cool.
we were at.
And then there's like Rey Mysterio gets like he has his costumes, you know, like that he comes out to that are really cool every year. That's like WrestleMania specific, you know.
Yeah,
And it seems like they try. Well, when we went, they had the conductor do the Seth Rollins music. That was cool.
that was sick. And they had I think a whole band came out for was it Sasha Banks got a whole no, not Sasha Banks, Bianca
Yeah, she got a step
Bianca
team.
Belair.
Like
Yeah, that
the
was
kids
rad.
doing the step team. That was cool. And then Roman Reigns got the big pianos playing his entrance, which I thought was cool.
And
Like,
the demon came out, so
oh yeah,
and then had to get his head stapled together. That
we
was
could
funny.
we could wah, you know,
We got it.
with the
We should
demon.
do an episode on the WrestleMania we attended one
Yeah,
time.
that would be cool. The only thing that came to mind whenever Triple H was coming out in the Mad Max car was this is really a deep cut, but this is there's a Modest Mouse song called "Bury Me with It," and it's one of the lyrics is "I just don't need none of that Mad Max bullshit," which always makes me laugh. And so as soon as that came out, I was like, oh, Mad Max bullshit. That's what
Mad Max bullshit.
that's
Yeah,
what
we
he's
got
up
some Mad
to.
Max bullshit
Yeah.
happening.
So just an interesting guy to think about. Like, you could do an entire podcast just about a podcast series just about who Triple H is as a wrestling character and his motivations for all these things. But it's like ultimately,
Well, and it's go ahead. Sorry.
ultimately he should have lost the 3 matches we watched today that he won. You know, I think,
And I'm glad though you picked the right matches to watch. And the it's crazy that he runs the company now, like, and he did such a good job with NXT when he ran that, and now they're booking this fucking company like a bullshit corporate asshole again. You know, it's like, but very interesting. I mean, the landscape of professional wrestling would look so much differently if Triple H never existed. For a bunch of reasons. Most of all, he married Vince McMahon's daughter and ended up taking over the company. Like, what would be happening right now? Would Stephanie be head of creative, or would they have brought somebody in? Like, what would have happened if there was no Triple H?
Yeah, that's super interesting. It would probably be Stephanie, or if Triple H is gone and most everything went the same way, it might be Heyman. It might be Paul Heyman and Bruce Pritchard.
God damn it! So it might probably be better.
It might be better, yeah. It's interesting because his booking instincts seem to be correct, and I don't know how much. Again, I don't know how much influence he had in these matches, or what he demanded, or what he was in charge of. But like, his particular booking instincts generally seem pretty good. So I'm surprised at the idea that he would either book what seems to be obvious logical fallacies, or he was just like, hey, if that's what you want, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, he did let the Rock and Travis Scott thing happen.
That is true, yeah. And they did pressure John Cena to turn heel for no real reason at all.
That stuff has been really weird. I think the Rock stuff was probably, I'm sure he got a little bit of pressure from like TKO.
Yeah.
Because TKO is just only cares about money no matter what.
Yeah.
They're evil. So that's probably affecting a lot of these things. I don't know if turning John Cena heel, that might have been John Cena's call. I don't know how that went down.
They needed a big moment because the house was soft in Canada, was what I heard, which is, again, to your point about the TKO of it all.
Yep.
And to be fair, I don't even know if it's worth bringing up now, but Triple H was supposed to wrestle The Rock at WrestleMania 32, which is the reason I've seen bandied around for why he beat Sting at WrestleMania 31, because he needed to stay strong, even though that doesn't make any goddamn sense. So,
yeah.
So
you can still be strong against The Rock and lose to Sting.
That's right. Seems more likely that Sting's from WCW. We're gonna go ahead and just anytime we can shovel just more dirt on that grave, we're gonna go ahead and do it. Good thing Sting wasn't also at the Montreal Screwjob, or he'd never hear the end of it. So, you know, like, it's they just have pet projects they like to do, you know, or at least under the previous administration. They haven't had it tested really at this point. But if somebody from AEW comes over, I mean, Cody Rhodes, they put him right at the top. So maybe
which shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I thought for sure Cody was going to get buried at first and then maybe eventually make a name for himself. But they were like, nope, straight to the top.
You're our guy. So it's just interesting to think about. So that's it for this week. I think next week we're going to watch a classic WrestleMania to kind of talk about the differences, what we see that have changed about WrestleMania, because the early ones, there's a lot of spectacle, but they're not great in terms of like match quality, which is not the point of those old WrestleManias. And it's fun to just look at how 80s and 90s WWE booked their WrestleMania shows as opposed to now. I think that's the plan. So like Andrew said, thank you to everybody who listens. Thank you to everybody who comments or subscribes or rates us. We appreciate it. We'll be back again next week. And as always, we don't need none of that Mad Max bullshit.
Ain't none of that, man. Actually, even though we only liked the Mad Max bull, I don't need none of that Terminator bullshit.